So first of all, this film could not be accused of having a dull moment.
That's good.
There's a delicious lack of boundaries. Were you just given complete free rein with it?
Yeah, Universal and MRC really allowed me to do the movie that I wanted to do. There wasn't a lot of meddling. There wasn't a lot of any studio involvement was constructive and helpful. But for the most part, they really gave me the freedom to do the movie that I had designed the blueprint for.
Were there any little bits that you had to fight for with them? Like, I want to stick a flower in Liam Neeson's...
Not really, no. It's the only thing I had to fight for a little bit, which this is so strange, it was the opening title sequence. Because I wanted to do an old-fashioned Hollywood, orchestral main title that kind of drum rolls the movie. And I got a lot of blowback from that because in this day and age, and I think a lot of that is just sort of knee-jerk, people's attention spans. But it's not like somebody has a remote in the theater and they're going to switch over to Fox News. It's like you've already paid your ticket. You're gonna, you're there to see a show.
And obviously, this film sees you transition into Seth MacFarlane, big movie star. Does that feel a bit?
Well, we will see. Yeah, it'll when the film opens and assuming it opens well, then I will accept that.
Are you a bit tentative now?
Yeah. Nothing's been proven yet.
And obviously, you do a lot in this. What was maybe your biggest challenge and the hardest part about doing all that acting?
The biggest challenge was well, I'm certainly doing all three jobs at once, but. I was worried that the transition from voice acting on Family Guy to live action film acting would be a stretch, but it really wasn't as much of a leap as I had feared. And I was opposite Charlize Theron, who is, the most magnificent, most brilliant actress that I could have hired, and she just, you play opposite somebody that good, and even if you're kind of new at it, you're probably going to be okay.
I really like that you guys had a quite modern love story, but in a different era. Mm-hmm. If Seth MacFarlane had to exist in another era, where do you think you'd fit in best?
Let's see, when was penicillin invented? Anytime after the invention of antibiotics. Great.
It's a good thing to think about.
It's all very practical.
And obviously, you're shooting a lot of this in the desert. Did that get a bit like, oh my good God?
Yeah, the desert was almost as hot as this room right now. There was one day that was 108 degrees.
That's disgusting.
It was, and it's funny, Liam was there, and he was in all these layers, and the guy, this is a tough guy, he never complained once. He said, no, I'm actually all right. I'm like, my God, I'm sitting here in shorts and a t-shirt, sweating, pouring water over my head, and here's Liam, tough as nails.
Everyone I speak to says he's the nicest person in the whole world.
The nicest guy. He just truly, as nice as he is talented, just so humble and soft-spoken and just a guy everyone was so excited to have him on the set too.
And now that you've achieved this, it's obviously pretty big. What have you got your eye on next? You can kind of do anything, I reckon.
I'm taking 3 weeks and not leaving my bed. I'm gonna sleep for 3 weeks straight. Next, Ted 2 is next.
That's exciting.
Yeah, I'm getting stressed just saying it.
Do you get to hang out with Mila Kunis again?
No, actually, believe it or not, Amanda Seyfried is taking over our leading lady.
You're switching.
We're switching. It's a new story. We're not telling the same. We're not doing a sequel that's a rehash of the first one, because that would drive me nuts. I'd go crazy having to make the same movie twice. So it is a new story that explores a different facet of Ted's life, and I don't want to spoil anything, but it required a reshuffling of characters, and I just had such a great time with Amanda. She was so talented, such a selfless actress, just such a team player. That, I look no further than this movie.
Very quickly, before I go, what is your favourite line from this film?
Yeah, there's, Amanda has, I don't know if it's my favorite line, but it always makes me laugh because it's Amanda being so good with one line why Amanda saying, I have that skirt, makes me laugh every time. I have no idea, but it does.
It's like classic Mean Girls.
Yes, it's just very loaded. It's very loaded delivery.
Well, it's been a pleasure chatting to you, Seth.
Thank you very much.